Marquette Radio is partnering with Student Media to bring you an all-inclusive new website coming out on November 5th. Check us out at www.marquettewire.org/radio. Listen to us live online and enjoy the finest collaboration of music, sports, and news this side of the Mississippi.
So we're back in the studio now. Lots of new stuff going on at the station this week. They have their Marquette Rockathon, and they have lots of new stuff going on. So I had to play those sweepers for you, so hopefully you enjoyed that. And I don't know, I still like this guy. Hopefully we can find more for him to play, but, we're running out of songs already quickly. So I guess to get back to hockey, I guess we're going to talk about a few injuries. This weekend... yesterday, Dave Bolland, who's been so good for the Toronto Maple Leafs, got injured. He's got a similar injury to that of Erik Karlsson of last year. He got hit by during a play, and the skate of the guy hit Bolland in the back of his heel. And it ended up making a leg laceration that's going to keep him sidelined. That was approximately going to be about 3 to 4 months for Karlsson, but ended up coming back only after 2.5 months. So that was expected to be quick. So Bolland, who's a bit older, we can't exactly expect him to come back at the same recovery schedule. But it's tough for Toronto because Bolland was having a very fantastic year so far. For 15 games, he had 6 goals and 4 assists. And that was the guy who just got traded from the... Was he traded or was he signed? He was traded, right?
He was traded to Toronto.
He was traded to Toronto after scoring the game-winning Stanley Cup goal at 17 seconds after Brian Bickle tied it up in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals this year. So he's really been playing well for a guy who was not really considered a top 6 forward. I'm not sure where he's playing or where he was playing in Toronto. Was he playing top line?
He was playing playing second line because of the injury to Bozak.
Got it. Okay, so he was playing very well, making the most of it.
He was playing second line last week because of injury to Bozak, but Bozak was playing playing first line, Kadri second, Bolland third.
Got it. Okay, thanks for that, Jack. You get insight.
But the one scary thing about the Bolland injury was that he was wearing the Kevlar socks.
The Kevlar socks would prevent skates from getting through the sock just by itself and make it a little bit, protect you against, incidents like this. So that's a really scary thing.
They're not 100%.
Yeah.
They're a good solution, but there's still failure in the design.
Yeah, it's not exactly like wearing, a chest protector or shin pads or something. I mean, you'd think Kevlar, that's what they make bulletproof vests out of.
Yeah.
It's still not good enough. So
the players have their skates sharpened at the end of every period sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they can fix that or make a regulation on how guys...
I think it's something you can't take out of the game.
Well, I'm not saying take it out of the game, but is there a way to make sharpening safer? I don't know if there is, really.
I don't think so. They've been doing it the same way for as long as hockey.
Yeah, but to make them as sharp as they are, I don't know, but whatever. I guess this is part of the game. Injuries are part of the game, and that's, I guess, something, like you said, Jackie said, something you really can't do anything about. Just find a way to make tougher socks, I guess.
Yeah.
So, along with Dave Bolland, another Canadian team, the Ottawa Senators, just today, in their afternoon matinee against Dallas, Craig Anderson was run into by the young Dallas forward, I don't know how to say his name, Steve Nakachishku or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know how. I should know how to say that.
I haven't watched enough Stars game to hear the pronunciations.
But he's a big fella, and he ran into Anderson. I don't know what the actual injury was, but it looked like it was an alleged head injury because the way
neck. I think.
Yeah, that makes the most sense because the way he ran into him was it didn't look good, and Anderson was out, and it was in the middle of overtime too when it happened.
Yeah.
So they ended up losing Anderson for the rest of the game, who was stretchered off the ice, and ended up losing in the shootout to Dallas. So that was unfortunate for the Senators, who have been having a pretty good season so far, if I know correctly. Well, they're 4-6-4, which is good for 5th place in the 6th place in the Atlantic Division. So it's not great, considering the type of talent they do have. But Eric Carlson's leading the team with 4 goals and 11 assists. Jason Spence is right behind him at 14 points with 8 goals, 6 assists, along with Bobby Ryan. So their top guys are being their top guys, which is a good news for Ottawa. It's just kind of, how they're playing, who they're winning against. So I don't know. I mean, let's take a look at this. Did they specify what it was? They said he was off on a stretcher and in full gear. So he was later seen walking in full gear. So he had a stiff neck and will be evaluated further tomorrow. So that's the injury front in regards to this weekend, really. What else we got here? We have to talk about, as morbid as it is, we have to talk about Semyon Varlamov really quickly because, for those of you who haven't known, he was arrested on accusations of being of domestic violence, and apparently it's been going on for over a year. And this weekend it finally came to a head when his girlfriend threatened to go to the police, and Varlamov ended up turning himself in. And then once Varlamov's girlfriend was interviewed further, she elaborated how this is not the first time it's been going on. So we'll spare you the details. You can look them up online, but really just a grim situation for, a goaltender who is,
He was playing well at the beginning of the year.
Playing well with Colorado. He finally found a place. He didn't really have a place after Washington. Now he's cemented himself, and it really remains to be seen because the severity of the charges and the severity of, the details could result into something, significant jail time.
If convicted, he could go away to 2 to 6 years, and I also saw that on the assault charge, minimum sentence is 8 years.
Jeez. So, and again, it's just crazy. So, given now the Colorado Avalanche, who are swimming, have kind of plateaued a little bit, and back down to earth. But now they got to look at J.S. Jaguar at this point.
Yeah,
Varlamov still can play the team right now, right?
He is able to travel.
Is he able to travel? Is he able to play, though? Do you know?
Yes.
He's able to play.
He played Friday night.
Okay, so I guess it depends on how quickly the judicial system catches up with Varlamov and how his due process takes place. But goes back to our conversation about the Ryan Miller trade. Colorado could definitely be in on that.
Yeah, and especially with their depth at center right now, they could make a move if they wanted to. And
I think you look at the one say they traded Landeskog or Duchesne, but depending on the severity, if Colorado's close, they have a few pieces that would fit well into a rebuilding Buffalo team. So that seems to make a lot of sense to me at this point. But who knows? We'll see what happens in regards to with that. But something that needed to be addressed because it's been all over the hockey world since last week. So,
yeah,
moving on then. Columbus was just awarded the All-Star game for not this year because of the Sochi Olympics where the NHL stars are going to be playing. The All-Star game for 2015. So
next season,
and it's going to be for January 24th through 25th. So it's a little bit earlier than it has normally been. It's usually been about the second week of February.
Yeah.
But in the article, they talk about how they really wanted to get back to Columbus really quickly. As you might know, Columbus was robbed or had to have their All-Star game postponed due to the abbreviated schedule, which was disappointing because we know how the All-Star game can really open up the hockey world and the NHL to a market that's still trying to find its foothold. And again, given the success of last year for Columbus, it was really good for them, as an overall season. And now that they're going to be getting it now, they're going to get this opportunity to really open up the market, really get the fans involved, bring a lot of, not only just fans there, but also bring a lot of people into Columbus. Hopefully it creates a lot of buzz in Columbus, too, to get more support for the hockey team. And hopefully it goes on from there. But Gary Bettman stressed that they really wanted to get back there because of, when they had to go away. And it also noted that this will be the third straight city, third All-Star game in a row that will make its debut. Carolina in 2011 was its first time, and Ottawa in 2012 was the first time they had hosted an All-Star game. So Columbus will be the next, the third straight year with first straight All-Star game rather that's having a new city. So.
Yeah.
Good for them. I was glad. When I mentioned that when that was coming up a couple of years ago, that I thought it'd be really good for them, and it was disappointing that when it got taken away from them because of the lockout.
Yeah.
So things are looking good on that point. Jack, do you have any news that you want to talk about?
Last night, Pavel Bure got his number retired by the Vancouver Canucks, and Adam Foote got his number retired by the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, right. It was really good of them to do it on the Saturday nights too, which was make sure to get all the the fans and all the people were able to go to the game that
And
wanted
it was
to go.
hockey night in Canada.
It's right. And there was a lot of controversy, I think, a couple of years ago or just last year when Bure was going to get his number retired because the way he left Vancouver
Yeah.
and the way he was treated by the media while he was in Vancouver, it was totally deserved. It was well deserved on Bure's part. He brought them to the Stanley Cup in '94. Obviously, Rangers won that 1-7 games, but he had a very successful career, and obviously, is he going to the Hall of Fame or has he been?
I believe he got voted to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think you're right. This was what happened. I think he got voted to the Hall of Fame, and they then decided to retire his number.
Yes.
I think that's what happened, and without much really anything. He didn't do anything much outside of what he did in Vancouver. The reason why I think he made the Hall of Fame was because of what he did in Vancouver.
Yes.
Because to say what he did in Florida and with the New York Rangers in his brief stints in both those cities, there's not much to write home about.
No.
What he really accomplished, in his deemed Hall of Fame career, he did it in Vancouver. So regardless of how he was treated there, I think it was the right move for them to do that because I think it was well deserved, and I think it was really just he earned it. He earned it, and hopefully this is kind of a burying the hatchet kind of thing, and hopefully they can bring Bure back to do
marketing.
marketing things and just be with the team.